Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today on Tallidus Plays, we are jumping into the world of Dyson Sphere Program. This is the Rise of the Darkfog update, kind of a recent update to the game. Again, Dyson Sphere Program, if you've never played before, best way to describe it is it's kind of a combination of Factorio and space exploration. So Factorio, where you're stranded on a single planet, and Dyson Sphere Program, you are traveling across several planets and even around some stars, with the ultimate goal of creating, yes, a Dyson Sphere. Which, for those of you who don't know, Dyson Sphere is a structure that surrounds a star, basically a incredibly powerful solar panel array that generates unfathomable amounts of power. So let's go ahead and start a new game here. Again, I just like the variety options here. Okay, this actually looks like a pretty cool setup. Yeah, this looks cool to me. So let's do that. We can't modify our starting planetary system, so we just start with what we start with. This is going to be a G-type star, which, if I'm correct, I think Earth orbits either an F or a G-type star. I'm not entirely sure, but dark fog settings. What does this imply? I think this is the dark fog that we saw at the beginning. Aggressive, initial growth, initial occupation, density, growth speed, power threat factor, combat experience factor. And we will leave advisory tutorial tips on because, again, I have no idea what this is going to do to the game. But let's go ahead and start our playthrough here of the Dark Fog mode in Dyson Sphere Program. Let's see. Let's do a key point. I don't want like a detailed tutorial. Again, I kind of know how the game functions.
The unknown, created in exploration. The seed evolves in iteration. From zero, transforming into infinity and beyond.
Buzz Lightyear.
It spreads and becomes the shadow of the galaxy.
Oh, interesting. I see. Curious. That's our main character there. Flying with troops. Okay.
As dark fog rises, the stars dim. You will embark on a new journey.
Arrive at target cluster.
I like it. A little bit of a lore, finally. So that was one thing that was different between Factorio and Dyson Sphere.
Welcome to the real universe. Very soon, you'll find this place different from our homeland. But you should be able to adapt to the laws of physics here in no time. I'm your advisor. I will assist you in completing this mission.
Whipped by our local star here. It's the G-type. Normally you start on a moon or on a gas giant, which seems to be the case
Everything here belongs to you. As a member of the Cosmo, a pioneer of the Dyson Sphere Program, you will explore this cluster from ground zero. Make use of the resources available here to build a Dyson Sphere that supplies energy to the center brain to maintain homeland simulation. I've chosen a planet for the mission, and there are essential resources for the initial development. Now, please pilot the space capsule toward this planet.
WASD to kind of change our trajectory a little bit. We're going to float on in. Epsilon Loopy 3. Orbiting Epsilon Loopy 2. Oh, is that the dark fog already? I didn't realize it would be right there. Okay, I could have sworn that starts at nothing.
Unknown EM signals detected. Extracting feature variables. Comparing with database. Those are highly likely anomalous mechanical bodies from the Mechanic Energy Program. Engineers call them dark fog. Dark fog is extremely sensitive to EM signals under a regular pattern, so they may launch an assault on us. To stay low profile, we will land on the other side of this planet.
Space capsule will land on the target planet in 3, 2, 1. Landed.
This is Icarus, a very powerful but lightweight industrial mecha. Use the direction keys or click the right mouse button on the ground to move the mecha. In this mission, you'll control your mecha to navigate the universe and create miracles.
Okay. So we've got a few. Ooh, Origin of Darkfog.
Now please try to disassemble the space capsule. Click the right mouse button to proceed.
If you need help, press G to open the guidebook for detailed instructions.
To collect resources like wood or gravel, click the right mouse button as well. In addition, you can hold Shift and click the right mouse button on each of your targets to give a series of commands. Some items are found after disassembling the space capsule. Click on the inventory button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open and check. You can hold the middle mouse button to rotate the camera, or scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
This tells us the Darkfog Space Hive and Darkfog Planetary Place and their relevant threat levels. Okay, so the Hive, I'm guessing, is more of like a galactic hive, whereas this is more local. Okay, good to know. Alright, that's enough ore for now. Eventually we will be able to fly. Right now we can use these kind of jump jets to kind of hop around with our mech.
Construction menu is locked. Complete a technology research to unlock it. Click on the technology tree button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open the technology tree and start a research.
Check the fuel as well. Fuel in this game is a little tricky in the early game. It gets a lot easier as you go. But for now we have to actually add fuel to our mech. It'll explain this in a minute. This gives us wind turbines, Tesla towers, and mining machines. So the mining machines are going to help us, you guessed it.
You've obtained a mining machine. It automatically collects ores for you. You can select it in the inventory or in the construction menu, collecting section, to start building it.
We need
Hold
more
R
materials.
to rotate the mining machine. The more veins it covers, the higher the output. To ignore grid snapping, hold Shift.
Insufficient materials.
Items. Click on the replicator button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open the replicator and manually replicate the required items.
There we go. When we build it, it'll appear, a little normal in the bottom right there, so we can now pop this bad boy down over here. And again, like you said, you can hold Shift to kind of get more
You have
specific
an
with
unpowered
placement.
production facility. To make it run normally, place it within the power grid coverage and make sure power is supplied.
For power, we, again, need Tesla towers. Actually, we need wind turbines first. Again, you can click and drag these. Space them out a little bit better. That was kind of foolish. I should have put it closer. That's fine.
You've now built your first power grid. Some power facilities don't have a power supply range, so you'll need to extend the power grid coverage. with
Insufficient
Tesla
materials.
towers.
Gotta get
You've
more
built
copper,
your
I
first
think.
Power transmission facility, a Tesla tower. It can help you transmit power wirelessly over a short range and extend the power grid coverage. Click on it to view more details.
Insufficient materials.
Still nothing? Oh wait, we can build one there.
Insufficient
Fuel is
materials.
required for mecha's every activity. When energy is exhausted, its action will be restricted. You can click on the mecha
Insufficient
panel
materials.
button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open the mecha panel and replenish the fuel chamber.
We throw in wood for now, but eventually we'll get much better, like coal.
Replication complete.
I'm going to put the wind turbine right here, and then we're actually going to connect these to the same power network, like so. There we go. Mecha score energy is insufficient. Yes, I'm aware. It's getting better. Okay. I replenished the chamber, have I not? Well, it's getting there. Do I need to click it? Alright, well, either way, let's see here. Metallurgy. This is what helps us do our smelters. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. Let's get some coal from over here. Eventually we'll start building, you know, conveyor belts and things like that. I'm not doing a ton of narration right now because I am actually trying to remember a little bit of this game from previous experience. And you can click M to go out to the
In the
local
planet
map.
view, you can hold the middle mouse button to rotate the camera. Hold the right mouse button to roll the camera. Press N to align the camera to the North Pole. In
That's
the planet
north.
view, scrolling the mouse wheel also enters the star map.
This is kind of system. Ooh, there's the hive orbiting the local star. See, it's getting supplied. And then if we scroll it even more, this is the star sector. So if we scroll all the way out, it's going to show us the Milky Way. This is effectively not really part of the game. The Milky Way view is more a compendium of all players' games. This shows you basically the total power production of every player who's ever played Dyson Sphere Program and their relative spheres. So it's kind of just a fun way. It's basically like a community goal that everyone combines into to power what they call the, I think it's the center brain. Of course, it doesn't normally take this long to load. I don't know if maybe the Darkfog has something to do with this. There we go. Cosmo. Type 3 civilization. And these are, technically, this is the galaxy. Ooh, look at that. That's really cool. You can see here I've actually built a couple other playthroughs in the past. So it remembers my old playthroughs. This is really cool, though. This whole cluster here. I don't know what that is. 20... The petawatts? I don't even know. This is nuts. Is there a way to like get to one of these? That's really cool. Sakura 1618. I don't even know how that's possible. Very, very cool though. But yep, here we are. This is our little region of space that we're in. You can see that hollow circle. That's us right there in the Milky Way cluster. I'm not really sure if this is considered the Milky Way. It looks a little different, but this is our galactic kind of combination. But our entire game takes place in the star cluster in this little hollow circle area there. So we'll go ahead and hit escape. And here we are, back where we were. And yes, I've been mining coal this entire time. So zoom all the way back. We hit M, zoom in, and then we hit N. That aligns us to the North Pole. And here we are. So yes, we should be able to refuel using said coal. Because again, look at that, we're almost out of wood already. So we'll chuck that in the tank, and that'll give us a lot of juice. Again, N always aligns you so that north is up. So it's kind of a nice way on any given celestial body. You can see very small moons and planets, so it's very easy to get turned around, so to speak. Consumable inventory concerning no. Okay, we need to do manual research. Oh, I see. We have to... Okay, consumable inventory items. We need, I guess, copper plates and things. So to do that, we need... Huh. How do we do that without a smelter? Let's see here. Oh, we build them like this. I see. Okay. 5 of those, and then let's produce 2 at a time. So 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. That should be good. Alright, so eventually we will complete this, and then we'll do the manual research here. So again, this is, sometimes you've got to brute force things, just like in Factorio. But once you do, you're better off. And look at this, the threat is growing on our planetary base. The swarm will launch an assault when the threat is full. So we need to be ready to handle that. Again, I have no idea how combat works in this game. The one main difference from Dyson Sphere Program and Factorio is that Dyson Sphere was always pretty much a peaceful game.
Complete.
Until now. So, here we go. We're about to finish our research. So adding combat is a very interesting kind of turn. You can see we're finally having a little bit of a sunset here. Research complete. Now we've got smelters. So, these are going to be the way that we continuously make iron plates and copper plates. Again, in the beginning, we're just going to brute force it. This is not efficient at all.
An arc smelter, which automatically produces basic materials.
But yeah, they need power.
Such as iron ingots and copper
Insufficient
ingots.
materials.
However, to automatically feed in raw materials
Insufficient
and feed out
materials.
products, sorters and conveyor belts are required.
So we're going to put this in the
Replication
middle.
complete.
And then you need to set the recipe. So this one we're going to make this iron plates. And on this one we're going to make it copper plates. And then we literally just feed it in. So we'll grab a bunch of
Once a
raw
recipe is
iron.
assigned,
Drop it
use
in here.
less than key to copy the current recipe, and greater than key to paste the recipe to the next building.
So we'll feed it with a bunch of copper. So these all turn into plates over time, which we then use to craft more things. Again, we can brute force it, we can craft a lot of things in our inventory, but sooner than later, we will have to use actual structures to craft things. We're low on power, which means we need more
Insufficient materials.
wind turbines. We need more resources to make them, which is good because we have more resources right here. Okay, and we should be able to
Insufficient
double click
materials.
and produce these. I don't know if I'm maybe.
Insufficient materials.
Okay, so I guess the brute force mode. Okay. I just don't like that it constantly is telling me insufficient materials. Like, I get it. That's why I'm clicking. And again, if you click, you can click on an existing turbine and click and drag away from it. And this will place it basically as close as possible. Going outside of that blue circle there. Just like so. Alright, that looks pretty good. So that gives us a little bit more stable power supply. Again, if you click on anything powered, you will see your network sufficiency. So right now the generation is the blue, the consumption is the orange. If consumption outweighs generation, then the consumption circle will be completely round, and then the blue one will be a little smaller. So again, ideally you always want that blue to be completely full, and then orange will be less than. Discharge and charge is a little bit later on in the game. That's a bit more tech savvy, so to speak. So again, we will very, very, very soon automate all of this by using conveyor belts and chests and storage and things of that nature. But for now, we do have to do a little bit of clicking and dragging. Again, I'm doing shift click to add things, and shift click to remove the completed, components. So shift click is your friend here, and get to reorient north every once in a while. Interestingly enough, for a game like this, time always flows steadily. There's no speed up or slow down or anything like that. There's no pause, to my knowledge, other than just hitting escape. But yeah, so that's a big thing here. That's why efficiency is kind of the name of the game. Because, you can only go as fast as your factory lets you. On that note, we do want to unlock some more things, basic assembling being one of them. So let's do that. So for this, we're going to have to do some more manual stuff. What do we have here? Technologies, upgrades. Also, there's a whole list of upgrades. These are things to upgrade your mech and your factory. And now, of course, your weaponry. We have all these new weapon upgrades because of the Darkfog. So that'll be a whole extra thing, which is kind of nice because the game, again, it was nice and peaceful. It was cool to see your star, being completed with its Dyson Sphere, whatever design you decided. However, it got a little lackluster because there was really no point to it other than just saying, wow, look what I made, Also, I do like putting these up. You could say 10 at a time. 10 at a time for some of these more component-based items. Just makes it easier. And then this will automatically start researching as it goes.
Replication complete.
Alright, there we go. Replication complete. That's just the replicator. Again, replicator is sort of your mech-based replicator, so it's whatever you can create with your mech itself. Again, we will soon enough build our own assemblers and replicators that can make more complex things that we're able to create by ourselves, just like Factorio. Again, I'm going to try to avoid saying just like Factorio every 5 minutes because a lot of people probably haven't played Factorio either, so this might be new as a whole concept. But you might know Satisfactory, any game with spaghetti conveyor belts going all over the place. This is an assembling machine right here. So again, this is a starting part. This is not going to be a main factory, so it's very, very inefficient. But we will use this to build more things. So we can produce any item. Let's go ahead and say produce a magnetic coil. This takes magnets and copper ingots. So we need to produce magnets. We'll do 10 of these. And then we already have copper ingots, so we're good to go there. We just need to feed these into the machine. There we go. And we've produced an item. Pull this out. There's our magnetic coil. So this is going to start automatically doing all of that for us. Again, we do want to make more of these, but we need more raw iron. That's the big thing, too. Keep an eye on what takes what. We put all the raw iron into iron plates. We don't have any raw iron to produce our magnets. So, don't forget about the good old humble magnet. Actually, gonna, just produce like 30 of those. Okay, so now we get to unlock basic logistics system. So we'll go back to the technologies tree, and we will unlock that. Okay, we need gears and electronic components, so let's build the gears. There we go. We'll just do 2 of those. And we'll be rocking and rolling. You can see here, if I hit C, this is the mecha panel. As we're draining energy, because again, this is our battery for the mecha. If this goes out, you're in trouble. If you're on a planet, you will just walk very slowly. But if you're in space, you might honestly find yourself stranded in deep space. You'll still fly at a speed of like the equivalent of walking, but you will be insanely slow. And if you're going between stars especially, it kind of makes it a game over. You can't really recover. So keep an eye on the core energy. Never want to let that go. Ideally, you always want extra fuel in the chamber. The idea being that as we use fuel, you see this goes down, especially when we jump, it uses extra fuel. And then when we stop moving, this coal is going to start regenerating our power because we're burning it for fuel. For energy, I should say. We're burning the fuel for energy. And boom, we got conveyor belts, we've got sorters, and we've got depots, which is basically like, think of it like a storage chest, more or less. But now the cool thing is,
sorter and conveyor belt.
well, he'll tell you.
Full automation is now possible. Use a conveyor belt to transport ores collected in the mining machine. The sorter will transport ores onto the conveyor belt into the arc smelter that will smelt them automatically.
When building a conveyor belt, confirm its starting point and end point. Use up arrow to raise the conveyor belt 1 level. Use down arrow to lower the conveyor belt 1 level if it has been raised. Press keypad 0 to reset the conveyor belt to ground level. To avoid the conveyor belt snapping to a building, try holding shift. The sorter is a connector that moves items between facilities. Simply bridge from a supplier facility to a receiver facility. Then the sorter will automatically transport the items.
So you're starting to get the idea here. I'm going to build a couple of depots as well. We need more iron ingots and also stone bricks. Now these are a little bit trickier later in the game, to be honest. Stone bricks, you'd be surprised. You have to create them by mining stone and turning it into bricks. Seems easy enough, but for some reason for me it always seems to be a bit of a spelling demon later on in the game. But I'm going to build a couple of these. Basically, we'll do 2 for iron and 2 for copper. Copper is going to get the same deal. I'm going to bring this over to the smelter. Again, you can kind of delete. There we go. X is the quick delete option. And we're going to run this past here like so. There we go. Eventually, we'll start to make this look a little bit more like an official factory. But not just yet. Okay, storage. I'm going to put a depot here and a depot right there. Oops, I realize now I actually want this to go like so.
You can manually store items or use a sorter to automatically access items.
we need to fuel this. Feed it like that. Okay. And then we'll do this.
Insufficient materials.
Perfect. That should be fine. These all need power, so we'll do that as well.
If there isn't enough ground space, make more efficient use of your space by stacking matrix labs, depots, storage tanks, and splitters.
There we go. Now that everything's powered up, we have a somewhat automated source. We've got power. Probably be a good idea to build some more of these wind turbines just to make sure we don't run out of power. So let's go ahead and grab. We can grab straight out of the factory here, and honestly, we can grab here. You can also grab off of the conveyor belts themselves. I believe if you go click left mouse, yes, hold control and left clicking will basically grab stuff directly off the belt. So we can grab raw copper here. We can grab some raw iron here. If, like, let's again say we wanted to make those magnets that I was bragging about just a minute ago. And then we can, of course, we'll build like 5 of those. Okay, I'm going to set this to build 5s from now on for the wind turbines. We'll set up a little bit more of a wind turbine network, like so. Can't build it where there's no foundation. We can squeeze it there, though. So again, it's the nature of a curved planet. You got to account for the curvature. Sometimes what looks to be a straight line will suddenly become a little less straight. So here's a good example, right?
Application complete.
If we look at north, we're kind of near the equator, so everything looks a little bit more square. But if we were to keep going southbound here, let's keep moving south, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You can see here, there's a little misalignment. So this 5 grid, right? This is 5 by 5. It's going to drop down and become a slightly larger 5 by 5 grid, so that the squares individually are larger. And that is because of the out-of-sync nature of going down on a curved planet, longitude and latitude wise. And you'll see that this offset happens again. And basically, it looks like visually it gets larger, and that's just a nature of it's getting squeezed each time. See, this is wider up here than it is down here. So by the time it gets too narrow, it has to get larger again. So the game does account for that, right? You build on a grid, but you're building a grid on a curved planet. So there is always going to be a little bit of that nature. And, you know, oh, we can see the hive actually orbiting right past us. That is creepy. That is super creepy. Look at that. Let's check it out, folks. I want to see what this looks like from a little Icarus's point of view. I can't see it in the daytime, I suppose, huh? Not inside the atmosphere, but look at that, just outside the atmosphere. That is menacing. How close is that right now? Yeah, look at that. It's about as close as it can get. It's coming right past the planet now. Ooh, spooky, spooky. Also, because it's almost always going to be, well, yeah, I think it's always going to be between us and the sun. But yeah, that's a 0.16 AU. Can't really get there yet with our current engine setup, but that is super creepy. But it's part of the beauty of this game too, though, right? You can actually see what's going on. Oh, look at that. Yeah, you can see it. Not as much atmospheric scattering as I would have thought, but yeah. Were you able to drop the HUD for a minute? This would be kind of fun to see. Let's see. Settings. Keybinds. Can we drop the HUD? Let's see here. Hide UI F11. Don't say. There it is. The menace. The dark fog looming directly overhead. It's like it's actively targeting us too. That's extra creepy. Oh, what do you know? What do you know, folks? I think it's getting closer too, if I'm not mistaken. I might need the HUD. I was gonna say, yeah. How is this? Yeah. Oh, it's actually, this is as close as it will get right now. Yep. Okay, let's go back to our guy. So it went on the other side of the planet. I don't know if I can even catch up to it. This thing is whipping by. So again, smaller scale, faster gravity. Can we zoom out anymore? Back to map. North. Sun, we know it's sunward. Okay, so it's that way. So if we turn around, it should be directly above us. Oh my god. It's right above our factory. The threat of the hive. Cool. Very ominous. Honestly, it's a very, Oh, I could disappear my guy. Well, that's kind of creepy. Alright. So we have some automation going here. We've made baby steps, you know. We got our goals. At this point, we're going to start unlocking our first electromagnetic matrix, which is how we start actually doing more advanced research projects. But for now, I think that's a pretty good place to kind of pause things here. We just got our feet wet a little bit. But if you made it this far in the episode, please feel free to like and subscribe. And until next time, this has been Tallidus Plays.